Sorry, I didn't change. I mean, I didn't share my screen. All of you are able to see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. And I have started the recording too. Now listen here. The queries like insert and update and delete, these queries will be calling as action queries. And only the select query will be calling as non-action queries. ఎందుకు మనం దాన్ని action query అంటున్నామంటే it is performing some action, like inserting, updating, deleting, all these things. It is making the table to be changed something. That is what we'll be calling as action queries. If you want to work with the action queries, we need to use execute non-query. Okay, we need to use execute non-query. For other things like select query, that is non-action queries, we need to use other classes. Execute non-query will not be helpful for non-action queries. Clear? Ardhamaitundamma?
Yeah.
I think someone is joining and leaving off. Shravanti, are you there?
Yeah.
Are you fine now? Are you able to hear?
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Yeah. Listen here. For the action queries, example like insert and update and delete, we need to use, for action queries, we need to use execute non-query. For non-action queries, we need to use, other methods other than execute non-query. Clear? That is the reason execute non-query will not be works with the non-action queries. Till now it's clear? All of you? Ardhamaitundamma? Now, listen here. Yesterday we have completed only for insert and update, insert and delete. Now we'll try to see how to perform the update. Okay. I want to update the name of an employee based on employee ID. Okay. Here. Shall we see the example now? All of you. Now, I'm going to the Windows Forms application, whatever we have created on yesterday, and I'm creating one more Windows form here. Listen, the name of the form would be Forms 16. The form 16 is the name of the form. And listen here, all of you, very carefully. I'm just trying to ask the user to enter the employee ID and asking the user to display, to enter the new name. Okay. See here, all of you. We have created the database. The database is .NET New for this class. For this .NET New database, we'll be having the employee table. And in the employee table, what are the records are available, that all the things we're going to see. I'm just creating a new query for .NET New database. See here, and I'm just seeing the data that is available in this table, that is select star from EMP. Am I right? Please be responsive in the session. Don't put mute. What are the records are available? Sai, Shravanti and Shravanti. Am I right? Now what I'm trying to do is, for employee ID 5, I want to update employee name as Spandana. Okay, that is my requirement. Okay, clear all of you?
Yeah.
Now, listen here. I just want to ask the user to enter the employee ID and employee name. Okay, listen here carefully. Employee ID for employee ID and for employee name and button and 2 text boxes. Now, observe here, every one of you. I'm just going to the properties, and in the properties window, I'm taking enter employee ID. One more is enter employee name, or else for better sake, I'm taking enter new employee name, and finally I'm taking the button to perform update. So the name of the button also update. Clear? Ardhamautundamma? Update, and listen here, all of you. I'm just clicking on this. We are just taking using system.data and using system.data.sql client as a namespaces, and how to give the connection string, all of you. Connection string ela istam? Yeah. No, not this. Connection string. SQL connection con is equal to new SQL connection. Am I right?
Okay.
Now, listen here, all of you. The connection string already we have given in the form 15, right? I'm just trying to copy and paste that connection string. Listen.
Windows source. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just going here, and along with this, I'm removing this, I'm pasting that. Awesome. Now listen. Tell me the query, all of you. string s is equal to s అనకుండా బెటర్ ఉండాలంటే మీరు query అని కూడా తీసుకోవచ్చు. That is your wish. Update. Which table we need to update in the backend? EMP table, right?
Employee.
EMP. What you need to set? E-name.
Employee name.
That is coming from P1. Where EMP ID is equal to employee ID is coming from P2. What is the meaning of P1 and P2? We need to tell in the down, am I right? How to pass this query to the database? Which class is helpful to transport the query from here to SQL Server? Command class, right? We have discussed yesterday very clearly. Okay, SQL command cmd is equal to new SQL command. What parameters it is taking?
Query and connection
string.
Query would be, I mean this query whatever we have given here, and the connection string would be con. Am I right? What else we need to do now? ఇంకా ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి ఇక్కడ?
Pass the parameters.
connection
How to pass the parameter? How to pass the parameter? cmd dot parameters dot add with value, right? For the command class will be having the parameters. The parameter p1 is, the p1 would be coming from which text box? What is p1 first?
dot one.
No. P1 ఏంటి ఇక్కడ? Employee name is coming from which number of text box?
Text box 2.
Right. If you people are getting some confusion, just go here and rename the name of the text property would be txt name, right? అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? And this is as text txt
ID.
emp id or ename or txt emp id or txt id, that is your wish, anything would be. How to get the p1? txt ename, right? txt ename. Clear? Dot in the text box, whatever the text is there, that we are trying to retrieve. And listen, cmd dot parameters dot add with value. And how to pass the p2 value? P2, the P2 value that is coming from txt empid dot text. Alright, till now it is clear? I'm just opening the connection.
When you activate Kalyani, so it takes immediate value, like what's the purpose of @
That is a syntax actually. If you want to pass any database, we need to take @ mandatorily.
Okay.
There is no special meaning for that. Okay, yeah. Now listen here all of you. I'm just opening the connection. And I'm executing the query cmd dot execute non-query and connection dot close. Okay. Now message box, I'm just displaying the information to the user saying that data updated successfully. Correct?
Yeah.
Shall we try to run this now? The form 16 we are trying to run now. I'm just changing to form 16. Now listen here. As discussed here, for the employee ID 5 will be having Shravanti. Now I'm trying to change to Spandana, right? Spandana. Now I'm just clicking on update. Data is updated successfully. It is saying that. And now we'll again see the select the star from employee to see the updated data. See, Spandana has changed in 5th record. Ardhamaindamma? For the employee ID 5, Spandana is changed. Am I right? Now take the screenshot of this code, make it fast, all of you. Completed? Shall we see with other topics? So like this, if we want to work with the insert and update and delete, we are using execute non-query. Now we will going to see how to perform with the select operations. Okay. Now observe here all of you. If you want to work with the select operations, we will be having the classes like SQL data reader, and next class would be SQL data adapter, and data set, right? Data set. Now listen here, these two things would be again divided like connection oriented architecture and connection less architecture, and two things ఉంటాయి. The first class, that is SQL data reader, that is coming under connection oriented architecture. Okay, why it is calling as connection oriented architecture అని కూడా మనం later on in the programming will going to be discussed. Coming to the second and third classes like SQL data adapter and data set will be coming under connection less architecture. అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? Clear all of you? Why again that would be calling as connection less architecture? I will again going to see clearly whenever we are doing the programming of that particular part. Okay. Now today we're going to discuss about what is the meaning of connection oriented architecture, how to retrieve the data with the help of SQL data reader class. Okay. Clear all of you?
Hi Kalyani.
Hey, hi Divya. Hi.
Yeah, actually నాకు లేట్ అయింది జాబ్ ఏదో వర్క్ చేస్తుండే.
Okay.
ఒక్కసారి ఇక్కడ ఏం చెప్పారో ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారా? జస్ట్ రఫ్ గా.
Yeah, sure. I just explained here that we are, as of now, we have completed about the update operation. Okay. I mean, in the ADO.NET, how to work with the update operator, I have just completed. Yesterday, we have completed about insert and delete operations. Now, how to work with the select operation, we are going to see now. If you want to work with the select operations, we need to use 3 classes. Those are SQL data reader and SQL data adapter and data set. Now, in the select operations, it would be dividing like connection oriented architecture and connection less architecture. Connection oriented architecture and it would be only SQL data reader. Connection less architecture in the sense it would be SQL data adapter and data set. ఇప్పుడు SQL డేటా రీడర్ ని కనెక్షన్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అని ఎందుకు అంటారు అన్నది ఇప్పుడు మనం ఫస్ట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇప్పుడు SQL డేటా రీడర్ గురించి డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నాం కదా. ఇట్ విల్ క్లియర్లీ సీ దట్ వై వీఆర్ కాలింగ్ డేటా రీడర్ as కనెక్షన్ ఓరియంటెడ్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్. ఓకేనా? Now first listen here all of you very carefully. If I want to retrieve only employee ID in the EMP table, how we can retrieve here? Select EMP ID from EMP and తీసుకోవచ్చమ్మా. Now it will return what? Only employee IDs. Am I right?
Yeah.
Now listen here. What I'm trying to do is SQL command CMD is equal to new SQL command of the query, whatever we are writing, select EMP ID from EMP table. So it will be having all the records like, I mean, it like this, right? EMP ID, the result is 1 and 2 and 5. This is the result of the query. Am I right?
Yeah.
So to execute this query that is having the non-action queries, the work చేయాలంటే we need to use in the top we have discussed, right? These are the non-action queries. Non-action queries the work చేయాలంటే we need to use these 3 classes. Am I right? So here what I'm trying to do is, if this query we are executing with SQL data reader. Okay, SQL data reader, the SQL data reader dr is equal to cmd dot execute reader. So execute reader తోటి మనం execute చేస్తే ఏమవుతుంది అంటే it will be preparing the result set like this. మనం execute చేసిన తర్వాత it would be preparing the result set, right, like this, because the query output would be like this only. Whatever the query you have written here, the query output is this. Am I right? Again, I'll explain you people one by one, no issues. See, this is the query. For this query, the output would be like this. Am I right?
Yeah.
The back end also you people are seeing, na, AMP ID is 1 to 5. Am I right? Before executing this, we need to open the connection to the database. That is clear?
Yeah.
Now, whenever you are executing with the data reader, whatever the output it is created, I mean, data reader first would be pointing to the header row. Data reader pointer untadannamata. Data reader pointer will be pointing to the header row. Okay, na? Now, we need not read the data reader header row, right? Header row we are not requiring. We need the data that is available in that 1, 2, 5 anadi manaku kavali, avuna?
Yeah.
So if you are thinking the result as an array, dr of 0, dr of 1, dr of 2 would be what? 1, 2, 5. So listen here. First it would be in a header row. Whenever you are using data reader dot read method use cheste emavutadi ante, it would be that the dr pointer would be moving from here to here. అర్థమైందమ్మా?
Okay.
Yeah.
సో ఓన్లీ 1 వాల్యూ ఉంటే ఇండెక్స్ వైజ్ గా ఎలా తీసుకుంటాం చెప్పండి? dr of 0 అంటాం కదా.
Yeah.
So again, whenever you are using reader method, it would be moving from where here to 2. Again, in this line, if only one value is there, we are reading again with the help of dr of 0. Again, whenever you are using dr.read method, it would be moving from here to here. Okay, no? So whenever you are using again read method, there is no value here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whenever whatever the loop we are using, either while loop or for loop, it will go just coming outside of the loop. Okay. Now, once once you have read all the values, we need to close the connection to the database with the help of con.close. Must and should execution and reading the data in between the connection active status. See here, execution ki mundu open chesanu, anta read chesin tarvata close chestunnanu, avuna?
Yeah.
మనం ఎప్పుడైతే సపోజ్ ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ దట్ యు ఆర్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటెడ్ అండ్ యు ఆర్ క్లోజింగ్ ద కనెక్షన్ హియర్ అనుకుంటే డేటా రీడర్ కూడా క్లోజ్ అయిపోతుంది అనమాట. డేటా రీడర్ విల్ వర్క్ వన్స్ ద కనెక్షన్ వుడ్ బి ఇన్ యాక్టివ్ స్టేటస్. అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? Data reader will work once the connection would be in active status. Once the connection will expire, the data reader, whatever it is pointed to the header row, this will all the data reader will also expire. So we can't able to read the data that is available in a table. So to execute the data, just give me a minute.
కళ్యాణి వన్ సెకండ్, మీ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది. నాకు ఒక్కదానికేనా అందరికా?
I don't know that. What about others? Spandana and Divya and Sai?
For me, it's clear.
Yeah, for me
I
also.
will try to rejoin again soon. Maybe sometimes the issues would be common in the GoToMeeting.
Okay.
Yeah, try to rejoin.
Yeah, give me a second.
Sure.
Yeah, Kalyani, I think it is clear now.
Okay, okay. Yeah, listen here. So we are calling this as, connection oriented architecture, because once you open the connection, then only you can able to execute. And after completion of your reading the data, then only we need to close the connection. ఒకవేళ రీడ్ చేయకుండా మనం క్లోజ్ చేస్తే, డేటా రీడర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ హ్యావ్ క్రియేటెడ్ హియర్, ఇట్ విల్ గోయింగ్ టు collapse. So you can't able to read the data that is available in a data reader. ఎందుకోసం అంటే the connection whatever you made in between the front end and back end, that will be closed. So you can't able to retrieve the data that is available in a database, because once the active connection or that is required for front end and back end with the help of data reader execute చేసిన తర్వాత connection close చేశారనుకోండి ఇలా, so you can't able to read the data that is pointed with data reader ఈ పాయింటర్ కూడా వెళ్ళిపోతుంది, ఎక్స్పైర్ అయిపోతుంది. సో if there is no pointer, you can't able to read the data that is available in this part. Clear? That is the reason once you read the data, reading is completed, then only you need to close the connection. So to execute it and to read the data, for all the things we need the live connection to the database. That is the reason it is making the live connection to the database. For that reason only we are saying data reader is requiring the connection oriented architecture. Connection is mandatorily required. If no connection, it won't be result with any data to you. Clear? Any doubt in this? Must మనకి డేటా రీడర్ లో ఉన్న డేటా రీడర్ పాయింట్ చేసిన డేటా రావాలి అంటే you need to have a live connection. If connection is expired, then data reader automatically expired. So we can't able to point anything in the database table. We can't able to retrieve any value. We need to maintain the live connection. Okay, clear all of you? Shall we see the programmatical part now? అర్థమైందా why we are calling as connection oriented architecture now, all of you?
Yes.
Now listen here, all of you, very carefully. I'm just trying to take a new Windows form here. Now my requirement is whenever the form is loading, I want to bind all the employee IDs in a list box. Okay. I want to bind all the employee IDs that are present in a table into this list box. Now listen, I'm just using the namespaces. Those are using system.data and using system.data.sql client. Clear all of you? And again, I'm trying to copy the connection string from form 16. I'm just trying to copy and I'm just trying to paste over here. Now listen here, all of you, very carefully. And I'm just trying to take the string s is equal to select emp id from emp. Correct? Till now it's clear, all of you? Now observe here how to pass the query. SQL command cmd is equal to new SQL command of s comma con. Okay. Now I'm just opening the connection. I'm just opening the connection and I'm executing the query SQL data reader dr is equal to cmd dot execute reader. Correct? Execute reader. Now I'm just trying to read the data. I'm just using while loop here to read the data from header row to data row, one data row to other data row. And if it is reaches end of the data rows collection, then while loop will coming outside and it will just close the connection to the database. అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా?
Yeah.
Con dot close.
సో అది ఆటోమేటిక్ గా లూప్ అవుతుందా, లైక్ హౌ మెనీ ఆర్ దేర్ అని?
ఎస్ నేను ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ అది కూడా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను ఇప్పుడు. Where we need to add the items in list box. How to add the items in a list box? List box 1 dot items dot add. Clear?
Right.
So only one value is there. Through index we are getting with the help of dr of 0 dot toString. Clear? Clear till now, all of you? Now listen here, I'm just using form 17 to execute. Now listen, I'm just trying to go to form 17 now. I'm trying to run this. See, it would be listing us that employee IDs that are present in a table. Clear all of you till now?
Yeah.
See, coming to Spandana, first it would be pointing to header row, that is emp ID, right? So whenever you are using datareader.read method, it would be pointing to one first record. So the first record we are looping and we are adding to it. And again dr.read అనేది యూజ్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుందంటే సెకండ్ రికార్డ్ కి పాయింట్ అవుతుంది. We are adding to list box. Again dr.read will be working and it will be pointing to the it would be pointing to the fifth record and we are displaying and into the list box. As Spandana, knowingly only I'm muting you because I mean I'm getting some noise. Once the noise will be over,
okay.
you unmute it. Now listen here, again 5 would be pointing and we are adding the 5 also into this. And again whenever while loop is repeating, there is no more records that are available in a table, then it is just coming outside of the while loop and it is going to execute the connection.close method. Clear all of you?
Yeah.
Now listen here, what I'm trying to do is before looping this, I'm just trying to closing the connection. Okay, Nama? Now observe here what will happen. See what it is saying? The dr is not available. If the object is not there, how you can retrieve the property that is available in, how you can call the method that is available in that object?
We can't.
That is the reason what it is saying, invalid attempt to call the read when reader is closed. You have closed the reader. Connection closed చేస్తే reader automatically గా close అవుతుంది. So you can't able to read the data that is present in that. అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? Must and should, you need to maintain a live connection to read the data from that. Okay? Clear? Take the screenshot of this, all of you. Make it fast. So that is the reason we are calling the data reader as connection oriented architecture. Spandana, are you there? Sorry, Shravanti?
Yeah.
Are you clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Taken the screenshot. Shall we see other topic now?
Yeah.
Now listen here, all of you. Will be see other topic, that is connectionless architecture. In the connectionless architecture, what classes we are using? SQL data, adapter, and dataset. Clear? Now, listen here, all of you, very clearly, carefully. Like, I mean, why we are calling SQL data adapter as a connectionless architecture? I mean, what is the beauty of the SQL data adapter class and all the things we're going to see now. నార్మల్గా మనం డేటా రీడ్ చేయాలంటే ఏం చేయాలమ్మా, ఒక క్వెరీ ప్రిపేర్ చేయాలా, మళ్ళీ దాన్ని డేటాబేస్ కి పాస్ చేయాలా. విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ కమాండ్ క్లాస్ వీ నీడ్ టు ఓపెన్ ద కనెక్షన్ అండ్ వీ నీడ్ టు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ ఇట్, am I right? And we need to close the connection. These are all the things we need to do, am I right? క్వరీ ప్రిపేర్ చేసి డేటాబేస్ కి పాస్ చేసి ఓపెన్ చేసి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసి క్లోజ్ చేయాలి. See, all of you, when I'm giving SQL data adapter, DA is equal to new SQL data adapter, new SQL data adapter of select star from EMP anna ankondi, or else select ename from EMP annam ankondi. What the SQL data adapter class will do, you know, it will pass this query to the database. It will pass this query to the database. It will open the connection. It will execute this query. It will close the connection. The output of this query would be stored in this data adapter. So మనం especially గా మెన్షన్ చేయని అవసరం లేదన్నమాట. I mean, command class, open the query, open the connection, execute the query, and close the connection. These all the things are not required. It is automatically will do, and the result of this query, whatever you passed here, that result also will store in the data adapter class. అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? So those many
So only one line is
enough. Enough. It is not required you to pass SQL, take SQL command, open, execute, close. Those all the things are not at all required. Automatically it does. Okay.
yeah.
Now listen here, all of you, very carefully. Whatever the data that is available in the data adapter ఏం డేటా ఉంటుందమ్మా? ఇప్పుడు EMP ID and EMP ID ఇక్కడ తీసుకున్నాము. Okay, EMP ID. In the SQL data adapter would, in the result will be having EMP ID. The 1, 2, 5 is the record. Am I right? The problem with the data adapter is data adapter will not able to communicate with the controls. Controls ante enti? I mean, you know, text box gani, label to gani, button to gani, like, you know, list box to gani, combo box to gani, ఏ controls తోటి అది communicate అవ్వలేదు అన్నమాట. Data adapter will not able to communicate with the controls. So appudu em cheyali? We need to pass the data adapter data to other class, that is dataset. Okay, the same way, see, you are taking the data adapter as a Telugu person. Okay, the other, you know, controls we are taking like an English person. So English person will not able to communicate directly with the Telugu person, right? If you want to make the communication between here and here, we need some mediator. That mediator will be calling as dataset. అర్థమవుతుందా? Now listen, how to pass the data that is available from data adapter to dataset. We'll see now. In the data adapter, how many tables are there as of now? It would be preparing one table. The table would be having EMP ID is one column. It is having 3 records, that is one first record, second record, and fifth record. The data like this. Am I right? This is a table, only one column. Am I right?
Yeah.
Now listen here, all of you, very carefully. Whatever, I'm just trying to create a data set. Dataset DS is equal to new dataset, and you know, the data adapter dot fill method. I'm filling to where? Dataset. Okay, data adapter lo una data I'm filling to where?
Dataset.
Now in this data, whenever we are filling the data set, and I'm just pointing to the table name in the data set, that is as EMP, because data adapter lo una data table name enti EMP kada. So data set lo kuda nenu bind chestunnappudu aa table ni I'm just giving the name of the table as EMP. అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా?
Yeah.
So in my data set, how many tables are there now?
One table.
So if you want to retrieve this table with the index, what we need to do? ds dot tables of 0. అవునా?
Okay.
అర్థమవుతుందా అందరికి?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now listen, if నాకు అట్లనే డేటా సెట్ లో ఒక 4 టేబుల్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, ఒక టేబుల్ ఇస్ ఎంపీ, ఒక టేబుల్ ఇస్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్, ఒక టేబుల్ నిన్న చేసినట్టుగా మనము స్టూడెంట్, ఇంకో టేబుల్ లైక్ ఐటమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, we can able to get with the help of ds tables of 0 1 2 3 4 అట్లా అవునమ్మా.
Yeah.
Now whatever the data that is present in a data set, we are binding the data with the help to the grid view with the help of data grid view 1 dot data grid view 1 dot data source. Data grid view 1 dot data source is equal to whatever the data that is available here. Okay, clear? Now we'll see here what is the meaning of grid view, how the data will going to display and all those things. Listen here all of you very carefully. I'm just taking the new form. I'm just taking the grid view. Yeah,
Now
you
one
can
question.
go ahead.
So you have given that table of index, right? Can we
Yes.
also give explicitly the table names there?
Yes, we'll see both now. Okay.
Okay.
Nice question. We'll see both. We have the overloading of tables method. Okay. We'll see that why I'm calling that as overloading and all the things also. Okay. Now my requirement is I have taken the data grid view. Whenever my form is loading, I want to display the entire table value into this data grid view control. Okay. The data grid view under it's like a grid view. It is having all the records. It is displaying the table. Right. Now we'll see that.
Yeah.
Now what namespaces you need to add using system.data and system.data.sql client and connection string. All the things shall I copy and paste over there?
Yeah.
I'm right. Now listen all of you. I'm pasting and I'm just taking the connection. I'm copying this connection and I'm pasting this connection here, and listen here all of you. ఇక్కడ నుంచి కొంచెం careful గా వినండి. Shall I take SQL data adapter DA is equal to new SQL data adapter, select EMP ID from EMP. Now connection string is gone. So finally data is available now where data adapter contains data. So we need to fill the data to where?
Data set.
Data set లేదు కాబట్టి we need to create the data set. So data set ఎలా create చేస్తాం? Data set ds is equal to new data set. I'm filling the data from data adapter to data adapter, filling the data to where?
Data ds.
Now I'm giving the name of the table as. Now listen, Sai. Hello, Sai, are you there? I'm about to answer your question now. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, listen here carefully. We'll see your answer for your question. See, data grid view 1 dot. What is the name of the table now? We binded in the data set. What is with the name of the table as EMP, right?
EMP.
Data source as data grid view 1 dot data source as where the data is available now, data set. Okay. Data set dot tables of, see, with index you can give, that is 0. Am I right, Sai? Now see one more overloading. This is overloading we thought, right, already.
Yeah.
See now name of the table also. So you can give EMP also, or else you can give 0 also. It will accept both. Okay. We binded with the name of the table as EMP. If you are taking capital E and small EMP also, it will not work. Name need to be matched, right? అర్థమవుతుందా? సో ఫస్ట్ మనం ఇండెక్స్ తోటి రన్ చేస్తున్నాము. నెక్స్ట్ మనం మళ్ళీ స్టాప్ చేసి అక్కడ చేంజ్ చేసి విల్ ట్రై టు రన్ విత్ నేమ్ ఆల్సో. ఓకే, సాయి గారు అర్థమైందా మీకు?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll try to run this. I'm just trying to change the name of the form as form 18 and I'm trying to run this. Listen, it need to be bind the data to that. See, వచ్చిందా? If you want to bind the entire table అంటే ఏం చేయాలమ్మా? స్టార్ అంటే అయిపోద్ది కదా, ఇక్కడ నేమ్ EMP ID తీసి all data that is entire table data would be retrieving, that we are binding here. Now one change we have seen here. The second change is we are binding the data with the help of the name of the table as EMP. Clear? Let's see now. Execution. వచ్చిందమ్మా? Entire table it came and it came with the name of the table while binding it. Clear?
Yeah.
Take the screenshot of this. and tracking these things, whatever we have discussed. I mean, with the tables like, employee table and student table and login table and all those things. This again, I mean, SQL data reader, data adapter toti work cheyandi. Okay. Completed all of you.
Yeah.
We'll see the login query now. Now observe here all of you very carefully. I'm just trying to create a login table. How to create the login table? How to create the table first now? Create table. I'm just creating the name of the table as login, and name of the table would be username, and username is varchar50, and password is right. Clear?
Yep.
Varchar50. I'm so sorry. Now I'm just trying to execute this query, and listen. I just need to insert some values. Insert into login values. And the login values I'm inserting like Sai and Sai, and again I'm inserting Shravan and Shravan, and I'm inserting how many records are there.
2.
If I'm giving username is Sai and password is Shravan, it is correct or wrong? It's correct or not? Not. User is a valid user or invalid user?
Invalid.
Right. Now see the query. Observe here all of you. Select count of star from login where username is equal to Sai and password is equal to Sai. What is the meaning of this? I'll explain you people. And ki R ki operators ki difference ఏంటమ్మా?
And both
అంటే
true.
both లో
Both match అవ్వాలి. అవునా?
Yeah. Or anyone can be true.
Yeah. ఇప్పుడు నా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఏంటి? ఒక రోలో యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్ రెండు అవే ఉండాలి. Both need to be same.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is the meaning of count of star in the sense? It is counting the number of rows in a table that contain the column like username is Sai and password is Sai. So, listen, I'll show you the output first. Select star from login. Okay. How many rows are available with the name username is Sai and password is Sai?
1.
Correct. So, if I'm taking username is Shravan and password is Sai, how many records will come? How many rows are there with username is Sai and password is Shravan? No, right?
1.
No. Username Shravan, password Sai తోటి ఒక రికార్డ్ కూడా లేదు కదండి.
లేదు.
So how many records will come in the count will return now? How many?
0.
So if Sai and Sai,
0.
if I'm giving, how many records will come?
1.
So finally I can say that result 1 అవుతే then the user is a valid user. If the result is 0 అయితే user is a invalid user. Sai and Sai అన్నప్పుడు ఒక రికార్డ్ వస్తుంది కదా నాకు. ఒకటి ఉన్నప్పుడు నాకు యూజర్ వ్యాలిడ్ యూజర్ కదా. అదే సాయి అండ్ శ్రవణ్ అని ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ఒక రికార్డ్ కూడా లేదు. సో హౌ మెనీ రికార్డ్స్ ఇట్ విల్ రిటర్న్? 0. సో 0 రికార్డ్స్ ఉంటాయండి ఇన్వాలిడ్ యూజర్. అవునా? నౌ లిజన్ ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ పీపుల్. సాయి అండ్ శ్రవణ్ అనేది వ్యాలిడ్ యూజర్ అమ్మా.
No.
No invalid.
So it will return what? 0 records are found with the username Sai and username Shravan and Sai is a password. 0 records are available. No records are available. So now listen. I'm taking Sai and Sai. See? Sai and Sai తోటి ఒక రికార్డ్ ఉంది అని ఇప్పుడు. సో 1 ఉంటే ఏంటి వ్యాలిడ్ యూజర్, 0 ఉంటే ఏంటి ఇన్వాలిడ్ యూజర్. అవునా?
Yeah.
Selecting the number of rows in a table login where username is equal to Sai and password is equal to Sai. So with the username and password as Sai and Sai, we have 1 record found. So it will return now as 1. So if the result is 1, then we can say that as a valid user. If the result is 0, then we can say it as an invalid user. Clear? Shall we see that now? Output. Now observe here. Any doubts, any one of you? I hope Shravanti was not there in the class.
Yeah, I'm
Okay. No. 2 Shravantis are there, Nana. One more Shravanti is also there. I hope
I'm
she
there.
will
I'm
not.
there. There was some issue with my internet connection today, but
Okay.
it's
Are you
like
able
on
to
and off.
understand?
Finally, yeah.
Even I'll share you the recording. I'm recording the session, okay? Yeah. Listen here, all of you. We'll see that example. Yeah, listen here, I'm asking the user to enter the name and enter the password. Password అనేది మనకు dot format లో కనిపించాలి కదా. So I told you in the first class how to change that from text to dot format. Password character అని ఉంటది, then that we need to give us dot, right? We'll see that again. See, listen here all of you very carefully. I'm taking the label name as enter username, correct? And again one more label as enter password, correct? Observe here all of you very carefully where you are entering in the password in the second text box. Am I right? గుర్తు పెట్టుకోండి, సెకండ్ టెక్స్ట్ బాక్స్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ కి వచ్చాక పాస్వర్డ్ కార్ అనేది ఒకటి కనిపిస్తుందా, నా మౌస్ పాయింట్ కనిపిస్తుందా అందరికి? పాస్వర్డ్ క్యారెక్టర్ అనే ఒక ప్రాపర్టీ ఉంది, దేర్ యూ నీడ్ టు గివ్ అ స్టార్. స్టార్ ఇస్తే స్టార్ అని కనిపిస్తుంది, డాలర్ ఇస్తే డాలర్ అని కనిపిస్తుంది. ఓకేనా? క్లియర్? నౌ లిసన్, I'm just changing the name of this button as login. Okay. Now, whenever user is clicking on this button, I'm just taking using system.data and using system.data.sql client, and I'm taking the connection string over here. And listen here, I'm taking string as select count of star from login, where uname is equal to at p1 and password is equal to at p2. Oh no?
Yeah.
Now what I'm trying to do is I'm passing the query SQL command cmd is equal to new SQL command s comma con. Now in the query we'll be having the aggregate function like count, right? Count, minimum, maximum, average, these things we'll be calling as aggregate functions. Okay, ఈ aggregate functions తో వర్క్ చేయాలి అంటే we need to use execute scalar method. We need to execute those with the help of execute scalar method. Okay, now listen all of you very carefully. I'm executing with the help of int I is equal to convert dot 2 in 32 of cmd dot execute scalar method is used for executing the aggregated function query. Okay, now listen here, this execute scalar now will return either 0 or 1 based on the input whatever you are passing. Am I right?
Yeah.
0 or 1 another integer kada. Execute scalar will return the data in the form of object, and we are converting that into that object data into the convert dot 2 in 32, and we are converting that object data into integer type, and we are passing to the integer variables. Okay, now if I is equal to double equal to 1, then we are saying message box dot show the user is a valid user, otherwise the user is a invalid user. Clear all of you? Till now it's clear?
Yeah.
Now after completion of your connection execution, we need to close the connection. The mistake what we did is without opening the connection we have executed the query, so it is wrong. I'm just trying to open the connection over here, and I'm executing the query, and I'm closing the connection. Isn't?
So here we don't need to, do data reader and all those methods. This is select,
Not
right?
required. Execute scalar will be executing, and it would be resulting the data that is either 0 or 1 to the variable integer I.
Okay. So whenever the output is integer, then we can use this execute scalar or
No. If the
only
query
for...
is, if a non-action query, that is select query, is containing the aggregated functions, like, these are the aggregate functions like count, minimum, maximum, average. If the non-action query is containing the aggregate functions, then we need to use the execute scalar method. Okay.
Okay.
Now listen here all of you very carefully. I'm just trying to run this form 19.
I think you didn't give P1, P2 values.
Awesome. Correct. Great. Now listen, we are giving cmd dot parameters dot add with value. The p1 would be coming from text box 1 dot text, and p2 is coming from text box 2 dot text. Correct. Shall we try to run now?
Yeah.
Sai and Sai. Valid user. Sai and Spandana. Or else Sai and Shravanti.
Valid.
And Shravan is there. Shravan and valid user, right? Clear till now, all of you?
Yeah.
Coming to tomorrow's class, tomorrow we're going to discuss the project, okay? Hotel management application we're going to see on tomorrow's class, okay?
Tomorrow is weekend now.
I'm ready, actually. I don't have any work. If you people are ready, I don't have any issues. Decide and update me in the WhatsApp group. Okay.
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 But update me a bit early so that I can plan the day accordingly.
You can plan. We will do that.
Sure. Thanks. Bye bye.
And also, I think we have to come out with that timing as well, right?
Yeah. True. And one
I
more
think
thing,
looks.
I have medical test on my Monday morning. So my Monday morning is not possible for me. We'll take in the weekend, please. No issues. No, is anyone have any plans? We'll discuss now only. Shravanti first, or Divya, or Spandana. Here.
I'm
Tomorrow,
fine. I don't have.
tomorrow I don't have any plan.
Okay. Shravanti, you also don't have any issue?
Same time, 10 o'clock, or can we make it little early tomorrow?
I don't have any issue. My 6 o'clock also.
I don't have any.
But I think, oh, you are okay with it, Sai?
Yeah. For tomorrow, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Divya?
tomorrow, yeah, then
Yes, yeah, I'm okay with that.
6 should be fine,
Spandana?
so that early we can close.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. Then my time around 6:30 will start and we'll close by 7:30 like that. Okay.
Okay.
We'll have a bit longer session tomorrow because we are discussing project. After that, I'll assign you 5 projects to you people to practice. Work entire weekend on all those projects, small projects. And Monday we'll be having the test, and I'll give you the test, and I'll go for the medical test. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.